Hey guys, it's Raychich, and this video is all about updates to my 100+ million DPS Stormweaver one-shot build. While the exact damage numbers are actually impossible to calculate, this build effortlessly one-shots any pinnacle boss in game, and if you haven't seen my previous video about this build, which by the way has already reached around 30,000 views, I highly recommend checking it out. In this video I will be covering the changes I made since then, how I improved the build's defenses, damage, how I increased my crit chance, making it much more comfortable and efficient to play. So here's me guys actually in my hideout, and now I'll be talking about my items changes, my passive tree changes, my skill gem changes. And if you don't know how this build works, I said it's better to watch my previous video, but in a few words, this build is a bug lightning bolt build, and we actually when we deal critical hits it proc greater lightning bolt, and actually this lightning bolt can proc our cast on crit setup, so that's why we want as much critical chance as possible. And we use in this build trample toe boots, which deal 30% of overkill damage to enemies within 2 meters of the enemy killed, and it's like a very unbalanced mechanic, and we deal millions of damage, and it works because we have 2 extra damage on our wands, and as well we use killjoy glows, which gives 1 kill effects happen twice. So in maps we just run, we blink, use Eye Winter. I will be discussing about Eye Winter a bit later, but now I'm really telling you about how this build works in a few words. So in maps we just use Eye Winter, and it will trigger all our stuff like lightning bolt and cast on crit. And against pinnacle bosses, imagine this map device is a pinnacle boss, we just come into the area, use frost walls, and then the boss spawns, and we just explode it with Eye Winter, and it's already will be dead. So in few words I explained how it works, but if you want to know in deep how this build works about every aspect, you better to watch my previous video. But in this video I will be talking about the updates. So first, what I've changed since my previous video about items, the first what I've changed is actually my helmet, because my wand is the same, and I changed my helmet. I used to wear Alpha Hole's unique helmet, which gave me plus 100 spirit and 60% cold dress, but now I don't need this spirit because I have my spirit in my build. Right now I have 250 spirit, but you will be good even with 240, and it's pretty easy to get this amount. So about my helmet, it should be with as much energy shield as possible, because as you see I have 3700 energy shield and 1700 life. One second guys, need to drink. And we're using Grim Fist, so in maps we have around 7,500 energy shield and this amount of life, so it's pretty good about defense. So defense right here is energy shield, and I have increased critical hit chance on my helmet, and it really helps me a lot, because in this build our spell damage against pinnacle bosses is insane. We one-shot every pinnacle boss with our frost wall, but we need to have as much critical hit chance as possible to be good in maps, in sanctum rooms, in trials and breaches, so whatsoever. So that's why actually I use Eye Winter, because Eye Winter has a base 12% critical hit chance, and right now my crit hit chance is 70, like it shows 78.6% to deal critical hit chance, but we use right here ambush for even more crit hit chance, and I use this passive, the first approach, for 50% increased critical hit chance against enemies on full life. So basically our Eye Winter has much more crit hit chance than this. Like we have around almost 90% chance to deal crits against enemies on full life, so that's why I actually want to have critical hit chance on my helmet as well. So helmet, your energy shield, crit hit chance, and resistances if you of course need it. So your resistances is up to you. The next what I've changed, my amulet is the same, but I've changed the allocation. Now I allocate high alert because it gives more evasion rating when on full life and more stun threshold, so it's much better in maps and just in any clearing monsters mechanics, so that's why we use it only for defense. And yeah, it's all I've changed about my amulet. My scepter right now, I used to run with Crest of Ardra shield, which gave me increased cooldown recovery rate, which is good for blink. Right now our cooldown time is a little bit longer, but anyway we're good. But we run with Sacred Flame because it gives extra fire damage and it works completely amazing with Trample Toe Boots, and it gives a lot of bonus damage, and we don't need to swap anything in this build anymore. We don't need to swap our shield for Scepter in Pinnacle boss fights. We just good. Our damage is absolutely insane all the time, and it gives in implicit on the base, you see right here, so it gives 100 bonus spirit, so that's why I have that much. The next one, what I've changed in this build since my last video, is my body armor. Now it has the same amount of evasion rating, like around 1000, and my energy shield around 400, and actually this body armor gives not only 400 energy shield but about 800, because we use we have Spectral Ward passive right here and gives +1 to maximum energy shield per 12 evasion on equipped body armor, so that's why it basically gives 1100 evasion rating and about 800 energy shield. So what I've changed, I bought a new one, a new body armor, and this one doesn't have dexterity and one elemental resistance, but now it has +50 to spirit, so you'll be good even with +40 or plus like 45. But I have +40, +54 to spirit, and I actually also get Chaos Rest, because from the last time, like, I used to run with Chaos Inoculation right here for immunity to chaos damage, but right now I unallocated to have my maximum life, and my Chaos Rest right now is about 37%, so I'm good with Chaos Rest. So that's why I recommend to not have CI if you want to be good in maps, because almost 2000 life is pretty good bonus to your survivability. So this is about your body armor. About rings, what I've changed since last time, I used to run with rarity on my rings, but I had about 70% increased rarity, and I don't think it's really worth it to waste one prefix mod for rarity. So that's why I bought new rings. So I have my rings with cast speed and elemental resistances, attributes. One second, I need to drink again, fuck. So gas speed, attributes, and elemental resistances, and also what I actually have done since the last time is I'm getting my maximum life from my rings right now. So it's about 200 maximum life, and as I'm using Ingenuity belt, it increases my bonuses gained from equipped rings. Now my Ingenuity has more %, and it actually gives much more life, resistances, attributes, and cast speed. So about attribute requirements, you need to have in end game, like it will be really useful for you. You need to have around 71 or 75 strength, about 104 dexterity, exactly this number actually, to use one of my skill gems, and around 200 intelligence. About strength, yeah, 70 strength. So that's what you need to have about your attributes. Yeah, attributes, cast speed, elemental resistances, and maximum life. If you don't use Ingenuity, but if you use rare belt, it will be much more easier to get this amount of attributes and resistances. So it's up to you. But life is pretty good bonus. Glows and boots are the same, of course, and my charm is the same for cannot be stunned. So that's all about my item changes since the last time. Now about my passive tree, because I made a lot of things on my passive tree. First, as I said, I unallocated my Chaos Inoculation because I don't need this immunity to chaos. I'm good with 37% and this amount of life. Next, I unallocated this for passives for 100% to maximum energy shield additional free threshold. I mean, for free threshold, because I'm good even without this bonus threshold, because I kill enemies first before they kill me. It's the best layer of defense in PoE Exile if you kill enemies first, and I just need this for passives. What I else did is actually I used this passives to allocate this tree nodes for increased critical hit chance for spells, because as I said before, our spell damage, like right now on my Greater Lightning Bolt, I have 42,000 DPS, but I one-shot last year Xerxes boss, I one-shot Trial Master, so I one-shot Pinnacles even with this amount of DPS, so it's much better to invest in your crit hit chance for spells and your just regular critical hit chance. And the next one, what I've done is I allocated these 5 passives for crit hit chance as well, and a bit of cast speed. The next, what I actually did is I I changed one of my rare jewels for this from Nothing Diamond Jewel. It gives passives in radius of Heartstopper can be allocated without being connected to your tree. So right here I'm taking First Approach passives, which gives 50% increased critical hit chance against enemies on full life, which really affects your clearing speed and your damage in maps. So that's why I use it to make this build even more like all-rounder, and actually it gives cannot be blinded when on full life as well. So about my other rare jewels, it should be with crit hit chance. I mean, what is the best modifiers on your rare jewels? It is right here. So increase basically crit hit chance and critical hit chance for spells, and you will be good because like this is two best modifiers on rare jewels, and other modifiers can be with increase spell damage, increase lightning damage, and else, but crit it's your main goal. And you better to use one jewel with recover 2% of mana on kill, and because like it will be much more convenient to play with this jewel. So that's all about my passive tree. Now about my skill gems, because I've done many changes in my skill gems tab, and now as you see I don't have my spark right here. I don't use spark like manually. I cast only Eye of Winter, and it's our main source of damage in maps, and actually in bosses we just cast Frostwall and then explode it with Eye of Winter. So that's like we have one button play style. Why actually I changed my spark for Eye of Winter is really easy. Why? So just because my Eye of Winter has 12% base crit hit chance, and my spark has 9% crit hit chance. So I will be discussing my changes since the start. So here's my Great Lightning Bolt. What I've done here is I used to run with +1 to level of all lightning skill gems with lightning mastery right here. So I changed my my support gem for Ingenuity right here. So I don't have Ingenuity in my blink setup anymore because I want lightning bolt to have less cooldown. So now it has 1.38 seconds, but it used to be always 1.5 because like we deal a lot of crits, and that's why we want to cast lightning bolt much more often. So like support gems are the same. So Conk Effect for damage, Consider Casting for damage, and Spell Eco for one more bolt actually at the same time. So that's really easy. Next is Eye of Winter. So it's our main source of crits right now. Yeah, not main source of damage, main source of crits, because we use here brutality. We use brutality right here. It gives we deal no elemental damage, and it means we deal no damage at all. So you see here we deal 0 damage, but we need it for our to make ambush support work, and it gives 100 more crit hit chance against enemies that are on full life. So that's why we want enemies to be on full life before we crit them. So that's why we don't want to deal any damage. So like I basically it's not showing, but my crit hit chance is basically almost 90%. So ambush really helps to crit, and when we crit it will proc lightning bolt and will charge cast on crit, and it will be casting frost walls, and they will be exploding and deal massive damage and everything else. So crit chance is your main goal in this build. So the next one is I use Inevitable Critical for even more crit hit chance, right? So even without it it's like 66%, but it will be charging every second and we will have more crit hit chance. And the last one is Inspiration for less mana cost, because we just spamming them sometimes. The next one is our Frost Wall. So about Eye of Winter level, guys, it should be, if you have like I do +4 to level 4 spell skills on your wand, your Eye of Winter should be exactly level 13 and have no quality, like 0 quality, because it increases your projectile speed. But we don't want this projectile speed to be increased because we want Eye of Winter to last longer and deal crits more, like much longer. So that's why you should have 0 quality and level 13. But if you have +3 to level of all your spell skills, if you're on a low budget, your Eye of Winter then should be level 14, right? But Frostwall, it should be with level 10, like your skill gem should be level 10 and maximum quality. And I use it with Icicle for less ice crystals life to actually, like, I mean, it's not, it doesn't affect that much, but just use it. And the next one is Fortress for more Frost Walls as well as Spell Cascade. And the last what I actually added is Font of Mana support. Now, I mean, it gives our more mana regeneration rate while being near this frost wall, so it's like a bonus mana, why not? And we actually need it only to cast, only to make work Killjoy and Trample Jaw boots, and to like cast Lightning Bolt and cast on crit as well. So about my cast on crit, it should be like as much level, like it can be level 20, level 19, and maximum quality, because it reduces reservation, and I use it with frost wall. Level 10 as well, with energy retention for 35% chance to refund half of their energy cost, with impetus for more energy, with magnified effect for more area. And actually I put my spark here because when I deal crits right now, like let me charge my cast on crit, it will cast spark as well, so every, like any of these projectiles from my spark can deal crits as well, and it's big area. But I don't want to use spark as my main skill because Wizard has bigger crit chance, so that's why it's better to use cast on crit, like spark in your cast on crit. And when you will be running this build, if you want to progress this build with temporalities, which I think I'm gonna do pretty soon, I would put this spark into cast on dodge, but right now it's cast on crit without temporalities. The next one is blink, and we use it with arcane tempo to have more cast speed. We don't have impunity, so we have like around 2.2 seconds of something of cooldown, but it's okay because we don't care about it that much. So the next one is Grim Fist, is our bonus, like we have 2x energy shield and maps, and I used it with clarity, but if you have around, what the fuck is this? But if you run with around 240 spirit, you can just not use clarity, you'll be okay, but I do it for more mana regen. So next one is mana remnants. We need it for more for 25% chance to spawn a remnant on killing a shocked enemy or on critical hitting a shocked enemy. And it actually it's much better to run with mana remnants because it helps with mana recovery, so pretty useful thing. The next one was I added since the last time. It's pretty good for our defense. It's Ghost Dance. It has about Soul Spirit reservation, so it gives if you are hit, like we have these Ghost Shrouds, I have 5 maximum, and when we are getting hit with our Ghost Shrouds, it is immediately consumed to recover energy shield based on your evasion. So it's like a bonus energy shield recovery in fights, so it's pretty good for your defense, and we are good with spirit. So that's why we actually need to have 104 dexterity to be able to use this buff. And I use it with fast forward support for less skill effect duration, so it will be less duration between Ghost Shroud charges, so it's pretty good. So that's all about my changes from the last time, guys. Now this build is much more convenient to play, much more comfortable, and I really hope you like it, because like I saw a lot of really good feedbacks for, like on below my last video, so thank you so much, guys, about it. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below. I will be progressing this build like because I like it. And yeah, goodbye. It was Raychich as always. Fuck, someone want to invite me. Okay, thank you, guys, and goodbye. You'll be fine.